Welcome back, Engen Pitch and Polish fans. It's time for another exciting episode of Pitching Perils, Pitfalls and Polishing. I'm your host, Aldrin St. Pierre. Last week we saw the first two pitches from our blue group, and I think it's safe to say that you couldn't get two more different businesses if you tried. First we had Ntutugo Sibia of Sibia Orthotics and Prosthetics, and then Gifenza Maringa of Phonetic Group. I wonder if that trend will continue with our remaining blue group contestants. Before we find out, a quick reminder about our viewer prize giveaway. Yes, indeed, we are giving away another 5,000 Rand Ever Super Shop voucher from Nedbank. And let me tell you, the competition among our viewers has been fierce. It makes our contestants look a bit laid back in comparison. Nah, just kidding. I've been getting to know these entrepreneurs and they are really hungry for that 1 million Rand prize. Speaking of which, it's time for you to meet tonight's first contestant. Heading in to face our judges is Vutomi Lubisi of Eully's Cakery, which is based in Gauteng. Whatever Cakery is, it sounds delicious though. Good luck, Vutomi.
Hello, Vetomi.
Hello.
Are you feeling nervous, excited? How are you feeling?
Yes, I am nervous.
Are you nervous? Okay. Vetomi, do you know that you've got 90 seconds to present?
Yes.
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pitch and polish.
Hello, judges. My name is Vutomi, the founder of Eully's Cakery, the author of the science behind baking. Have any of you ever bought a customized cake? It can be a birthday cake or wedding cake. You look like you did. Did you know that most bakers struggle to find places where they can source their ingredients and all the necessary tools they need? Especially bakers who are based in the rural areas, villages, and remote. And you know why they struggle? It's because most of our normally grocery stores, they don't sell all the necessary tools that bakers need. And with that being said, at Eully's Cakery, we are in a mission to support bakers in rural areas with supplying them with all the ingredients and the tools that they need. And we don't stop from there. As you have, I'm the author of the science behind baking. We also give them all the necessary tools, skills, and training that they need via our ebook and our digital online content, including our face-to-face training. And with that being said, that's how we make our money. Judges, with the 650,000, I would like to increase my stock variety.
Have you got that? You can finish that sentence, just that sentence.
Okay, with the 650,000, I would like to increase my stock variety and also build my e-commerce to capture my baking community in the rural areas.
That's the end of the sentence. Okay. Right, Vutomi, thanks for your pitch. Let's go to Sipakazi.
Thank you, Vutomi. Why do you say you are the author of baking science?
I'm a passionate baker myself. So when I started baking, I've realized that most bakers, they can't bake a perfect cake the same time. So what I did is I have sit in my kitchen and developed this ebook that has a perfect recipe that even if I give it to you now, you're going to definitely bake a perfect cake. And I sell that ebook for $25 a copy. And so far, I have sold over 600 copies around 12 countries.
Thank you. You mentioned that your business services clients that are in rural areas and in the outlying areas. How do those customers get to find out about your product or your service?
I use social media to market. Most of my customers, they are on Facebook. And I also got a sales magnet that helped me attract my customers. Like on a month-to-month basis, I have 2 different sex magnets. One is just an ebook with 1 receipt. So when I give them that ebook, they tend to try that recipe and they find it working and they want the whole ebook. And some, even if they don't get to buy the ebook, because I supply baking ingredients and tools, eventually they become a customer. And my other sales magnet, I teach bakers also to market their business on social media, because I have seen that most bakers, they will just say, I'm a baker, but they don't have a WhatsApp for business where they have put all their perfect cakes. So I teach them that how do you market your business? Because for me, their wins is my win.
Thank you, Vetomi. Thanks.
So I love the way that you're enabling other small businesses. We know that it's important for businesses to keep their operating costs down. How are you selling to your businesses in a way to make them understand that, yes, the e-commerce site is convenient, but their prices, the cost of your products are going to help them with their own operating costs as small businesses?
Because I also teach the bakers how to bake. So most of the time, when I create the recipes, I also tell them what they must use. So that's how I make sure that they always buy the ingredients that I use.
And how do you price your products?
My product, because I sell the cutters and the ingredients. The cutters which can be molded, just everything that you need in baking. When it's coming to the cutters, I always make a 100% profit. And the ingredients, I make on the 50% profit. Because ingredients, some of the stuff, you can get them, like your baking powder, you can get it at Pick and Pay, but it's still not economically for a baker to buy anything from Pick and Pay, because they sell it in a very small quantity, while when you buy it from me, you get it in a bigger quantity.
Great, thank you. I'm definitely coming to look for that book of yours.
Vutomi, what is your turnover, your revenue, your monthly revenue right now?
My monthly revenue in total is around 35,000 to 40,000 a month.
When you get the orders from the clients, how do you distribute them? How do you distribute that to the clients? Do they come fetch, or do you use a courier? How do you get it to the client?
Yes, I partnered with the courier guy because, like I've said, 90% of my customers, they're scattered around South Africa.
Okay. And my last, actually, I was going to say my last question, but my second last question. So there are trading stores in rural areas. Don't they supply this baking ingredients, the trading stores?
They do supply, but what set me apart is that some of them, they don't do courier. And some of them, they don't offer the full package. Because when someone buy ingredients from me, they can even ask me, so how do I use this vanilla paste? Then I'll tell them that I have all the details in my ebook. So what set me apart is that, you see, like some of my competitor, they only supply the ingredients only. When someone will come to buy from me, they'll buy the ingredient that they need, but if the cake that they make, it must look like a mic, I'll also sell them the mold to make that mic.
Okay. Last quick question. Where did you learn to market so well?
Most of the time, I spend my time on Twitter Spaces, and on those spaces, it will be the entrepreneur spaces. I connect with entrepreneurs from Nigeria, Ghana, and everywhere. And most of the entrepreneurs from Nigeria, they're into affiliate marketing. So I will listen, but I copy the concept that they use. Like the first time I was on a space, they said you need to have a sales magnet and a sales funnel and convert your lead. Then I sit down and say, okay, so what am I going to use as a sales magnet? That's when I come up that, okay, let me take my best perfect receipt and give it to them for free as a sales magnet. So that's how I attract the customers.
Vetomi, thank you so much. You may leave. You know, we've been doing Engen Pitch Polish now for over 12 years. And originally it was a physical competition where we went around to small towns across South Africa to unpack talent, to unearth talent. Sure, I actually got emotional. Yeah.
A lot of passion and conviction about what she's speaking about, that was striking for me.
Lovely business.
I mean, you're a banker. Do you get emotional?
I do get emotional. I do get emotional, and I love the way, I mean, she's clearly thought about her business. She understands the business. Her marketing is phenomenal. She's used those networking opportunities. It's not just a case of getting onto courses and to, getting to networking type environment. She's using the knowledge that she's got, the fact, and also, I just love the way she's extended beyond the mindset of, well, I'm serving the rural community, and therefore, I mean, the fact that she's got an e-commerce site already, she's got an ebook, she's trading in dollars. Just I love her vision. It's wonderful, really, really wonderful.
Let's get to scoring.
Vitomi, where's the cake? Where's the cake?
I didn't have time to bake.
You didn't have time. You didn't have time to bake, but you baked the presentation. Well done, congratulations. How do you feel about that?
I feel a little bit relieved that I've now done my first presentation. Oh, did I say my first? Yes, because I have to come to the second one.
Of course. Oh, that level of confidence. I love that level of confidence. Let's quickly speak about the business. It sounds as though your passion for baking has now become a business, of course, but now you also want to teach other people.
Yes, of course. And I do teach. Early this year, I started virtual classes because I've realized that, okay, I can't go across South Africa. Then there are some people who have bought my ebook and they feel like we still want to see you literally doing it.
Yeah.
So I started the virtual classes, but some they do learn through my ebook. Like I've mentioned, it's sold over 12 countries so far.
And then over 600 copies at that as well. So well done, $25 a copy. So you're also pricing it at dollars. Guess it speaks to the number of countries and people being interested in the product as well. I have to say though, I find it very interesting your use of social media, from even when you were speaking about some of the stuff that you've learned, and you've learned that from Twitter Spaces.
Yes, I'm always on Twitter, but when I go there, I take it as a free university to learn and implement and take whatever I can use for my business. And for me, social media has been like a free giveaway. With social media, I will put it like this, not even my degree have given me that knowledge.
Yeah, and it's instant knowledge that comes to you.
Exactly.
And people who are actually in the industry. Let's speak about the 650,000 and what exactly you'll be using that 650,000 for. You did speak about e-commerce, but I don't understand what you mean by that.
Currently, people buy from WhatsApp. But then I want to stop working into the business and let the business run on its own. So I can list everything that I sell on an e-commerce website. Then they can literally buy from there. Then the administrator will get to send the parcels that they want. And apart from that, I want to also do WhatsApp automation just to free my hands because, I'm the visionary of Eully Cakery. I need to focus on the strategy.
Yeah, because very important part of the business is that it must be scalable. And unfortunately, maybe some people buy into your charisma and buy into what you are selling. And don't you think that that will take that away? That when Vetomi is now dealing with the admin stuff, that she's not really involved in the business as she was before?
Not at all, because I'll make sure that on that e-commerce website, I will put their frequently asked question. Since I'm a baker myself, I know what bakers need. So during my spare time, I will always find a way to put the content that they need for them on the e-commerce website.
I hope that you bring in cake next time. If you make it to the next round, please bring us. Promise?
Definitely.
Okay, all the best. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well done, Vitomi. The Blue Group continues to deliver a variety of different business types, doesn't it? I think it's one of the best things I've found about Engen Pitch and Polish so far. It really doesn't matter what kind of business you are in, everyone starts off on a level footing. The process is completely random and fair. And none of it would be possible without our sponsors. So before we hear the second pitch of the evening, I'd like to say thank you to our title sponsor, Engen Petroleum, to our co-sponsor, Nedbank, and of course, our program organizers, Raise Corp. And now it's time for the last pitch of the evening. Also from Gauteng, here is Tirelelo Mukate of Camping Retreat making his way into the pitching arena.
Welcome to Tirelelo.
Thank you so much.
How are you feeling?
A bit nervous, but I'm ready.
But you're ready. You look ready. All right. We have 90 seconds. You understand that? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pitch and polish.
Tourism is the largest growing economy in South Africa, contributing 3.2% to the GDP. With the ongoing price increase in the prices of flights, petrol, and food, traveling locally for self-catering is no longer as affordable as it used to be. This has opened the gap in the market for value-driven, affordable camping solution. Camping Retreats is an award-winning camping service that provides an all-inclusive camping package that provides tent and food prepared by a private chef. All you have to bring is yourself, and we'll take care of the rest. We host up to 160 people every weekend in 7 of the 9 provinces in South Africa, and we've hosted 8,000 guests thus far in the last 6 years. We pride ourselves in offering bespoke service through our driven and dedicated staff of 18 permanent staff members. We've enjoyed tremendous double-digit growth numbers in both our customers and our revenue by a compounded annual growth rate of 115%. With the 650,000, we intend to invest 8% of it in expanding our deluxe offering, 31% in automating our booking system, 15% in establishing a repair and manufacturing division of our business, and 46% to invest in a bigger size trailer that's going to be handle all this growth. This will increase our revenue, improve efficiencies, and improve our customers' experience. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
I don't know if I should say well practiced or well read, or I don't know what I should say, but well done. Yeah, let me say that. All right, let's start with you, Monique.
Thank you. What a novel idea around making adventure holidays so much more accessible. Tell me, what is the split between your premier offer versus your standard offer? How many customers are taking up the premier offers versus the standard offer that you run?
So everybody, when they book, automatically on the standard offer. And if you want to upgrade, then you upgrade to the premium offer.
And you're split in terms of customers from a percentage perspective?
We cap it to 10. So we release 10 deluxe tents called deluxes. That's the premium offer, depending on the space that we have at the site. So some sites we release 20, some sites we release 10, depending on that.
Let me make my question clearer. How many, from a split perspective, are more people taking up your premier offer or more people taking up your standard offer?
In terms of percentage, I can give you a ball round figure of 20%.
20% more on premium?
20% move to premium, but it's not because of their choice. It's because we release a certain amount of deluxe offering.
Okay.
If we would only make a deluxe camp, which we've had, we would get a fully booked deluxe camp only. But most of our numbers are on the standard offer because that's how they book first, and then they upgrade to, we say 20. We've got 20% deluxe offers available.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Tirelelo. You mentioned how you're going to use the prize money if you do win, and I noticed that you want to expand manufacturing. Are you currently manufacturing, and what are you currently manufacturing as part of your business? This is part of this offering.
So we've got two divisions that we do. We currently repair our tents. It's very informal. The business premises are in a garage, and we employ 3 additional people who repair our tents when they return from usage. And we now manufacture cooler boxes, camping chairs that we resell to our campers at the retreat. So we want to increase that a little bit, especially that there's a market growing for additional peripherals that people want to buy when they're at camp.
Sure, thanks. I'm also a bit curious about the deluxe versus standard offer. So you mentioned you decide to release 10, or you could make it all upgradable. What's the driver of that decision? Is it profit? Is it because you can make more money, or what you have available?
What gives us the ability to release 10 or 20 or 30 deluxe is a space. So sometimes the campsites that we go to, remember, a deluxe tent is the two times the size of a normal standard tent. So when we're given X amount of space, we need to fit all our tents in there, and we've allocated to say we can fit 50 standard tents and possibly 10 deluxe tents.
Excellent, thanks.
I've got so many questions, so I want you to go through them quickly, okay? Otherwise they'll think it's unfair. How did you get into this?
I was trying to solve a problem. I tried to convince my wife to go camping, and she says, I don't want to cook, I don't want to fetch water. And I said, if I find somebody who will do that, will you go? And she said, yes. And I found somebody who will cook for us. And he said, bring 10 of your friends, and then I'll cook for you. That's how the idea was born.
What's your annual revenue?
2020, we did 6.2 million. 2022, 6.2 million.
You mentioned up to 160 a week, but that's a fake number. That's up to. What's the real number? So up to is the capacity. What's the actual?
First 2 weekends, so we do this 4 times a month, so every weekend of the month. First 2 weekends tend to struggle between 40 to 60. Last 2 weekends do better because it's month end. They range between 100 to 120. We cap it at 120. We don't go over 120.
And what's the constraint to making that 500? Why could you not do 500?
We don't have enough tents to cater for 500 people.
Who's your market?
Millennials, people who want to do things conveniently, people who don't want to necessarily do camping the hard way.
And quickly, how do you market to them? How do you get to them?
We strictly digital. I'm a digital marketer, so 90% of our budget goes to social media, Facebook and Instagram.
Tirelelo, thank you. You may leave.
Thank you so much.
Sure, I love this business. You not so much.
It's camping. But the idea of going and having everything set up for you makes it like something one can do, because then you don't have to hassle about putting a tent together, because I wouldn't know what to do. But yeah, I like that, that how the idea was born and that he's brought it to life. And it sounds like a business that's, that has had an uptake from what I'm hearing. Of course, the numbers didn't sound so definitive, like, in terms of, exactly how many people do come through. But yeah, someone like me who's not that camping person, I think it's a good idea. It's a good business.
Your thoughts?
For once, the numbers made sense for me.
Yeah.
He actually, the price point is around 6 grand for the deluxe versus the standard thing. So a lovely concept. I'm not a camper. Spent too much time in boarding school to be doing camping. but really lovely business. I think that from a growth perspective, he is going to get constrained because clearly he can't grow at the moment because of the space constraints and because he's dependent on other campsites. So I think that is something that he's going to have to look at in the future, is how to actually expand and get his own premises almost.
I just love the fact that he's thinking about actually manufacturing, all the peripherals, and he's looking to how to maximize that audience.
Yes.
To on-sell other stuff to them whilst they're there. So I think he's definitely an entrepreneur. I love this business. I'm finding it hard to find anything negative to say. But so let's score, and maybe the scores will reflect something else.
Tirelelo, how do you feel?
I feel good. I feel it went well.
It went well. You went in there with speaking notes as well. Why was that? Because Alon was like, I don't know if it's a good read or a good presentation, but overall, well done.
Thank you so much. No, I needed to remember some crucial information, so thankfully I didn't need all of them.
Yeah, I have to say that out of all of the people that we've had so far, you said 6.2 million turnover.
Yes.
That's like the highest we've ever heard.
Ooh, okay.
I've never heard 6.2 million since the start of this season. Where does all this money come from?
We've got a good brand. People tend to book us more often than what our competitors do, and we've got capacity to handle that amount of people. So also when a customer comes through to our doors, we also upsell them on various things, rentals, merchandise, and the likes.
Yeah. Well, 650,000 Rand cash injection is this tiny bit of the 6.2 million that you make. I think it's about 10%, if I'm not mistaken, of the 6.2 million that you make. So why do you need the money? Why are you here if your business is already doing so well?
Because we don't want to rely on loans. We're already indebted with a few commitments from the banks, and 650 would be disposable income that would be able to help us to lessen that burden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And let's speak about your staff contingent. You said, I think you have about 18 permanent staff members.
Right.
Geez, what does that mean for your salary budget?
Whew, it's one of our highest costs, salaries and then food. But we have to get by.
Mm-hmm.
We chose to be entrepreneurs. So
Yep.
that's it.
And the sites that you use for the camping, do you have to pay there as well?
Yes, thankfully we've got very good relationships with the people, so we work out a very discounted rate in order for us to be able to lessen the price for our customers.
Okay.
But yeah.
So all the best for the next round, yeah?
So much.
6.2 million is a lot of money. You're a millionaire.
I hope so.
Congratulations, Tirelelo. And that's it for the first round pitches of our Blue Group, which makes this the perfect time for a quick check-in with our judges before they head off to their deliberations. Hello there, judges. I was a bit confused walking on set this morning. I was wondering what's happening. Is it the green group today or what's happening, Monique, Sipogazi? Who called who?
Influence is good. We're influential people.
Influential people. Influential people are good. Sipogazi?
The color just
In your
had to be
test?
green today. Yes.
So we spoke to 4 people today. I want to start off with Tirelelo. And Tirelelo spoke about his turnover being 6.2 million. I said to him that's quite a huge number. It's the highest that we've heard of in this particular season. What I'm not too sure about, and I don't know if the judges were able to get that, what that 650,000 Rand would do in comparison to a balance sheet that speaks about a 6.2 million Rand turnover. Spogazi?
He seems to have a plan to go into more manufacturing. So I can see, how he intends to use that money. But obviously, again, at a revenue of 6.2 million, I guess it would be interesting to understand what his costs are looking like. I mean, and really what the net profit figure is, because we didn't really speak to that. But yeah, something that we can interrogate further.
Yeah. Alon, still on that 6.2 million figure?
Yeah, also to the point of the bottom line, I don't know what margin he's making in all of that. But I heard him talking about percentages. I think that's a clue for me that he doesn't actually know what he would do with the money. So I don't like hearing percentages. I like to hear I'll use 212,000 Rand for that. That means I've investigated it and I know what that will cost me. So I've done the work beforehand. So I'm not convinced that number is right yet, or his percentages are right yet. But if he does make it through to the next round, then that's something I'll definitely pry at.
Monique, I like how you phrased what Tutugo is doing, which is the gift of movement. Any personal experience from your end? Family, perhaps, when it comes to that gift of movement?
Not family per se, but I support a charity that does recycling, that offers wheelchairs to people. So I understand the power of the gift of movement here.
And what do you make of his business proposition?
A very noble business, and I think that he's in the right place. From the fact that he's in Ladysmith, a small town, so he's clearly got a niche market there. It was a little bit confusing between the facility that he was trying to set up versus the mobile labs versus the branches. Just battled to understand what actually happens in the branches versus what the mobile lab would do. But yeah, interesting business.
Yeah. Speak about Vitomi. I could tell that everyone was captured. I could tell that everyone was captured. Such an endearing human being, great charisma as well. You can tell that she's very passionate about what she does. But Alon, when sitting there as a judge, how do you make sure that you're able to discern what the business is and put aside some of the difficulties that she faces, including her disability?
Yeah, I don't know if it came across, but I got quite emotional in that because I was actually, if this was an American Idols, I would have that look that Simon Cowell has, like
It's a meme.
yeah. So because I was absolutely positively surprised by her depth of understanding of marketing. It was such a wonderful surprise. And I said to the judges when we were deliberating that this goes back to the essence of Engen Pitch Polish, which is to uncover these entrepreneurial gems across South Africa. So her turnover is not there, relatively speaking to the 6.2 million we saw. But she's a role model. She's supporting other entrepreneurs. She's just a positive asset to this country.
I was actually saying to Sipogazi that what I found interesting is her use of social media, whether it is to learn more, whether it is to market her product and to sell her product. She just knows how to use social media. And as part of the money actually that she's going to get, if she does win, she said she's going to pump it back into e-commerce.
Yeah, no, which is great because it's definitely a strength there that she can also just bolster further, I think, definitely.
There is, of course, Gifenze, who is in the beauty market. What do you make of her presentation?
The product that she brings around foundation really sort of made sense. I mean, I guess, that demand is there for that because if we have convenience where you've got the right colors to find. So I thought that was interesting in her pitch. I think she really it's a lot of big plans that she has. So it's things that still need to take off. It would be interesting to get to know, how well that can really come off. But it sounded like a lot of ideas that she has around that space as well. So.
Monique, is that what you sensed as well from her?
Definitely, she's definitely still in the ideation phase. So still at the Excel level of projections. It was a little bit confusing also because it's clearly her market or her business currently is in direct marketing. And that's where her money may be coming from. She didn't mention the fact that she actually does have experience in the beauty industry. So she's already doing lashes, which would have then been the through point to why she's now going into the foundation and the lipsticks that she proposed. So I think she just needs to get very crystallized around what business she's in and where her profits are coming from.
You know, you've become very good at prying out the information from the thing. She did a great presentation, so really, really great presentation. She's definitely an entrepreneur.
You reckon?
I'm
Let's
gonna
see
leave
whether
it
she'll
there.
make it to the next round. Thanks, judges. While we wait for them to make that decision, let's go find out what the pitching insight Yasmin Eully is sharing with us tonight. Take it away, Yas.
Welcome to our next pitch analysis for the 2023 Engen Pitch Polish competition. Today we'll be focusing on the second pitching principle. Answer the question. There is both an art and a science to answering questions. On the one hand, you want to answer the question comprehensively. On the other hand, you need to only answer the question asked and stop yourself from elaborating. Remember Evans Parson, our township banking fintechpreneur? Evans's vision is to bank the unbanked masses of South Africa's townships and rural areas. Let's take a look at a question Alon asks him after he's pitched.
Okay, just one last question from me. I mean, speak about 10 million on that platform. They're not all going to convert, but there's also a whole bunch of other mobile payment apps on there as well, and in the South African market. So what is it that you do that's so different from everyone else?
Now let's listen to Evans's answer. I want you to specifically listen out for the answer to the actual question.
Well, it's the distribution model, in fact, because I'm as a black person, right? I know the gaps that the other competitors are not tapping in the townships and the rural areas. So my distribution model is unique in that sense that I know how to distribute strategically in a unique way where I know how to attract the desired target market or customers. So that's why I don't have fear with those competitors, your Telkom Pay, your VodaPay, all of them who are just seamlessly just targeting the bank market. So Vency Pay, we are for that emerging young people. Every year or every month, the 15 years that are turning 16, we're targeting them. So my strategy is through schools.
Okay, you spend a lot of time on the questions.
Sorry.
Evans, that's all we've got time for right now. You may leave. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
Did you notice all the additional information that Evans is sharing? He's answering questions that the judges haven't asked him. He may well be throwing in bits that he didn't get a chance to cover in his pitch because he ran out of time. And did you notice Alon's reaction? Essentially, Alon cuts him off. In fact, Alon even comments that he spends too much time on answering the questions. When your audience is basically stopping you, it means that they may well have stopped paying attention. But more importantly, it means they already got their answer. This is a problem I see often, and generally there are two reasons for this habit. The first and most common is that we don't listen to the question carefully. If the question is about the competition, your answer should be about the competition. Where it becomes complicated is when we want to add our research about the market and possibly our distribution model and maybe even our childhood favorite toy because we associate it all with our competition. But your audience doesn't, so you really need to stick to the point as far as possible. The second reason we tend to over-answer is that we want to impress our audience. We want to sound smart, or we want to throw in additional facts and information, or we want to name drop. Again, if it isn't relevant, your audience is just hearing chatter, and you're using up valuable time where they could be asking you key questions that may just get you to a yes. So today's principle is keep your answers concise, keep them simple, keep them relevant, and you will have a much better chance of winning over your investors or buyers. Back to you, Aldrin.
Thank you, Yaz. I don't know about you, but I'm really enjoying Yaz's take on the pitches. As an Engen Pitch Polish newbie, it's absolutely fascinating to hear all this feedback from multiple perspectives. And speaking about feedback, I believe it's time to rejoin the blue group and the judges to find out who will stay to fight another day.
Hello, contestants. So this is the time where we have to do our work. We have to do the horrible task of eliminating two of you. The other two will, of course, go into the next round and hopefully take all the learnings from this round into that round. So let's start with you, Kifense. Your pitch was really, really good. You presented really, really, really well. It felt like we had like this professional presenter in front of us. What I particularly also enjoyed from understanding your business is that you've been in the business for a while, 4 years, and that you've already got distribution. So when you introduced the idea of the base, then I understood that you also had distribution in place. Okay. On the negative side, you had too many products. So what you entered Engen Pitch Polish with, what we saw on your website, what we heard in your presentation, were all different things. We had eyelashes, we've got a marketing business, base, and there was one other thing. What was the other thing? And the lipstick, yes, and the lipstick. So I was quite confused, and I'm speaking for all the judges, we were quite confused as to what business you're in. And when we interrogated the numbers, the numbers didn't stack up. I know nothing about base, so I had to talk to my fellow judges around base, and they mentioned a whole bunch of other competitors in the market as well in the space that you're trying to get into. So that gave me a clue that your market research wasn't strong enough. So for that reason, unfortunately, Kifense, you are eliminated. You may leave. Tirelelo, there's one thing about your pitch, and especially your Q&A, was you know your numbers. Your numbers were very, very clean. That gave us a lot of confidence in you as an entrepreneur. And what added to that was that you think deeply about your business and that you sell to a captured market. You've got a market there on the weekends, and you're thinking, what else can I sell to them? But on the negative side, that reading was almost unforgivable. You've had a lot of time to get ready, and we were really expecting you to be able to speak from the heart. When you read, you don't connect with the judges, and if the judge is not connecting with you, that's not a good thing in a competition. You also didn't talk about demand, so you spoke about the fact that you got up to 160 people coming on a weekend, but you didn't talk about the fact that the demand for this product in South Africa or in Southern Africa is X, Y, and Z based on this research. So you missed a whole opportunity, if I were an investor, to think about, well, is this business going to grow, or is it at its peak? What was unique about your business? In terms of your USP, your unique selling proposition, we couldn't tell what was different from you and potential other competitors in the market. And really, you had a great opportunity to connect the 650,000 Rand prize to the constraint which you have in the business, and say how that will unlock the constraint. So as somebody who wants to give out 650,000 Rand cash, I go, if I spend this money, it's going to have a real difference. Tirelelo, despite all that, you stay. Well done. All right. So one of the two of you is going to go. So we've got Ntutuko, a really, really authentic presentation. You connected your story to us. You spoke about the fact that you have also become very successful in the market that you're in, and that there is a need. But you also didn't mention the competitive landscape. Are you competing with other people? How do you compete with them? And what in the discussions, what was very unclear to us as judges is what's the structure. You've got these 3 branches. We didn't know how the whole thing worked, so that wasn't clear. Vutomi, I think you're a marketing genius. I think you're a marketing genius. And you authentically understand marketing. You really, really do. Whatever you've been watching, whatever you've been reading, whatever you've been listening to has worked. You have really taken that in. The fact that you knew to, somebody said, as a magnet, the ebook, and then you wrote the ebook. So many entrepreneurs just talk about things and don't do them. You did it. And then the thing I loved the most was the fact that you sell in dollars. And especially with the Rand-dollar exchange, you must be smiling. On the negative side, I have absolutely nothing to say. You, Vetomi, are staying. Tutuko, it was close. Unfortunately, you are eliminated. You may leave. Well done to the both of you. Well done to getting through to the next round. Please take all the feedback from this round and incorporate it in the next round. We are watching to see you've got a different pitch. I'm watching to see that you don't read or not read as much even. I'll be happy with not reading as much. And you may leave and enjoy the win today.
And there you have it. A very well done to Vetomi and Tirelelo for making it through to round 2. And it's goodbye to Ntutuko and Kifense. I wish you both the very best with your future business journeys and that you are taking away valuable lessons and insights from your Engen Pitch Polish experience. Oh man, saying goodbye to these contestants is really hard. I feel like someone should have warned me before I signed up to be the host of this competition. But you know what will make me feel much better? Giving away a 5,000 Rand Evo Super Shop voucher from Nedbank. I reckon I'd feel even better if I gave it to myself, but apparently that's not allowed. So I guess I'll just have to give it to you, or even you, and you at the back. If you'd like to get your hands on that voucher, all you have to do is answer the question we are showing you on the screen right now. What is Vitomi's primary marketing approach? What is Vitomi's primary marketing approach? WhatsApp your name and the correct answer to 068 707 5187 before midnight tonight. We'll pick our winner through a random draw and contact them before 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. We'll also post the winner's name on social media later this week. It could be you, but only if you enter. And that's a wrap for tonight. Let's agree to meet back here next week, Tuesday at 7 p.m. when the first 2 contestants from the yellow group will show us what they are made of. In the meantime, it's good night from me, Aldrin St. Pierre.
I will make sure that how I explain everything clear, so that since my judge was telling me about it, they didn't know my operations. Like I have 3 branches, but I didn't explain how I operate between those 3 branches. Next time, or if I get a chance like this next time, I'll make sure I go straight to the point.
I think I will definitely get more into my finances, and also just the feedback that I got from the judges just narrowed down my products, and yeah, just really focus on one thing.